My sweet Taurus, this is your horoscope for March 2025, and March will be an amazing month. We have two eclipses. Now, eclipses month are most important months, as we know, and both of them will be very positive ones. Now, eclipses can be positive too, which is surprising, but it seems like we deserved it. Like, universe is giving us this year all those eclipses. We will have all in all four, and first two are hitting in March, and those two will be perfect ones, amazing ones. Now, whole March seems like you will have emphasis on your house of past, on your subconscious mind, spiritual growth. For you, March will be all about spirituality, all about your inner child and inner self. Now, March will start, even though in March we will have two personal planets retrograding, again retrograding. You see, like first half of 2025, we have quite like a lot of planets retrograding, meaning universe wants us to work, to rework things, to reshape, rethink, and go back to things and to finish them, whatever it might be in your case. We all have this kind of work to do. And even though Mars went direct back in February, now in March we have whole March Venus, planet of love and beauty, and your ruler, my dear Taurus, going retrograde. Now Venus retrogrades every 18 months, almost a year and a half. Now, Venus retrogrades for 40 days and 40 nights, meaning, giving you this chance to think and rethink, reshape, especially related to your values. Venus is all about values, what you value in life and your priorities. Now, and the second planet that will retrograde will be Mercury. Now, Mercury is a planet of communication, commerce, and trade, and plus everything that we speak, write, and think. It will go retrograde too in March, so overlapping together with Venus's retrograde up until mid of April. Now, even though we have these two planets retrograding, these two eclipses that are happening in March will color the March and seems like will make it unforgettable. It's an amazing month, and it will give perfect and positive sort of events happening in your life. Now, let's talk a little bit about this Venus and Mercury. Now, Venus will retrograde in your 12th house, house of, again, spirituality, about your past. Some things that you will need to, finish in March related to your past, maybe even to travel somewhere where you've been before, where you lived before, and to finish some things there. From 2nd of March until 13th of April, Venus will retrograde, but when it will retrograde, meaning moves backwards, by the end of March, on 27th of March, it will crawl back into your house of wishes and future. Seems like you might go back to some plans that you had previously, that you had before for your future, and related, like it might be social media projects, especially related to online, like Instagram maybe page, or TikTok page, whatever is that, because 11th house is house of online. Or also you might connect back to old friends, because 11th house is all about friends, and by the end of March you might meet back your friends, seems like. Now, before that whole March you will be thinking, finishing some things. And also 12th house, sort of isolation house. You might isolate yourself too, or you might find yourself in this kind of time when you will be working alone on some project in solitude, because 12th house is all about behind the doors, showing no one what we're working on, and alone. This is the main, feature of 12th house. Now, on 15th of March, Mercury will go retrograde in the same part of your chart, in your 12th house. Now, you see these two both of them suggesting that some things needs to be done there. It needs to be finished in your life. It might be related to your home, or it might be related to inheritance, or it might be related to your health. Like 12th house is a house of hospitals, like isolated places. You might need some surgeries also here, even though I wouldn't advise to do planned surgeries during March or first half of April. If you can, postpone them until second half of April, uh, to second half of April, but if it's urgent, of course, we don't look at the planets, we do those surgeries. And in your case, some of you guys might actually undergo this kind of surgeries, like spending time at hospital, or maybe it's related to your work. Like you might actually spend a lot of time at these kind of places, or better to say islands, because 12 house is also isolated place, and it can be islands, like having rest, or like traveling somewhere to like having a spa session, or hotel, very nice hotel, and near nature, near ocean. And Mercury will retrograde until April 7th, so pretty much the same timing with Venus, and also same degree they finish retrograding. Now, by the end of March, on 30th of March, Mercury will also crawl back into your 11th house. And again, here seems like by the end of March, you might actually travel somewhere to finish those things, and to see some old friends, or to finish up old projects. Or you might take back, reshape or rethink about the plans that you've been, how to say, having for your future, related to your future. Maybe it's about work, or maybe it's about moving somewhere, whatever is that. Seems like these two planets are telling you, universe is through these two planets is telling you to focus on your unfinished business, my dear Tauruses. 14th of March, we have first eclipse hitting, and this is amazing one. Full moon lunar eclipse. Now, full moons are about endings, and they bring conclusions, and it's happening in your fifth house. Now, fifth house is all about love. It's falling in love and dating experience. Now, those of you who are born 14th of May, plus or minus 5 days, will be affected the most. Or if you have planets at 23 degrees, then in your fifth house, you will feel this, eclipse the most. And this eclipse will have Uranus and Mars together, sending supportive beams, supportive vibrations to that eclipse. Now, Uranus is planet of surprises. Something might surprise you positively. Now, remember this word positively. This eclipse will be positive one, unlike the one, not the eclipse, but we had this full moon in February, which we also had Uranus there with some shocking news. That one was unpleasant one, but this one we will have eclipse. Now, eclipses, they're always 10 times stronger than regular full moons. And I will make a separate video about this eclipse to go more in detail. It's a lot of to talk about these eclipses. They are very positive, so stay tuned for that video. But here I would like to mention that Uranus and Mars will be very active, and Mars will be in your house of communication, and Uranus will be in your sign, like giving you big surprise there. And fifth house is about true love. Now, some of you guys might decide to level up your relationship, let's say, maybe taking to the next level, like moving in together, or proposing, let's say, because fifth house is house of love. Or this full moon might bring you someone new in your life, especially if you're single, my dear Tauruses. Now, during this eclipse, we will have Saturn opposing that eclipse. Well, Saturn is also a planet of work, hard work, and responsibilities. And here, it seems like it will remind you about responsibility, like about responsibly dating, let's say. Saturn here will not tolerate any, let's say, one night stands or all sorts of that, because it might turn it into something long. For example, getting pregnant or some sort of that. Especially with Uranus, it won't be so surprising here. Uranus rules your house of reputation and house of career and social status. It might give you all of a sudden pregnancy, so that Saturn might teach you the lesson not to have, let's say, um, irresponsible dating experience. And especially it's true during around this eclipse. Now, eclipses, they are very active during like 3 months before it appear and 3 months after. So during all these 6 months, eclipses will be like bringing news to you. So always allow it. You might have gotten your news, for example, already, but it's supposed to be very happy news, but still Saturn is there reminding you to be responsible, and especially for your future, of also related to your projects, like online projects. Now, Saturn will be in your house of kids, and this eclipse is happening in the house of kids. So there will be huge emphasis that you might get pregnant. You might know this news around this eclipse, or you might deliver a baby already around this news, having a new social status here. So make sure, anyhow, Uranus and Mars will try to mitigate that Saturn, meaning will try to make it friendly, but still you will have a great chance here. A lot of you guys getting pregnant. Now, for some of you, it might be related to business, like your owning business. You might start new business here. And of course, Saturn will remind you that it's not so easy to start it. There is a lot of things to do, a lot of assignments, and it will be quite heavy, but very fortunate. And for some of you, it might be even closing business, but you might be even happy about it because you will release such a responsibility from your shoulders, let's say, as an example. Now, fifth house is also about talents and hobbies. For some of you, it might be that you might turn your hobbies, your talents, into something special, like into your own business that will bring you money, as an example. And about love here. Now, if you are involved in any love triangles, this eclipse has a power to bring it up front. So here again, um, there is no joke with this Saturn planet, and those triangles will be revealed, just so you know. Ruler of this eclipse will be in your house of, subconscious mind, connecting, conjunct with your ruler, Venus. And anyhow, you will be feeling great with whatever news is hitting with this eclipse, my dear Tauruses. Now, 27th of March, we have Lilith going into your 7th house. Now, Lilith is, it's another name is a black moon, and it's moving into your 7th house. In your case, it's very significant until December 20th, so pretty much whole this year. And Lilith has a bit of reputation of a bad lady, meaning giving you all sorts of insecurities. You might start feeling by the end of March and whole 2025 sort of insecure, either in the person that you married, or either about your upcoming marriage, or either about the person that you live with together, like long-term dating. And there might be some sort of fears going on, And I would like to tell you not to fear here, how to deal with Lilith. Lilith is always like that, scaring us. The most important thing, the most important tactic is not to give in, not to follow those fears. Release them. Don't fear anything. Actually, the things that you are fearing are not in reality the way that you think they are. So they are more positive. So the best approach here to give up actually all these fears, all those fears. You might start feeling it because Lilith is sort of this kind of asteroid, which gives us this kind of feeling of like diminished feeling, insecure feeling. Now, in your seventh house, Lilith, in a positive way, it might work out as a popularity within your surrounding, like other people. Seventh house is all other people, and Lilith might give you popularity. You will be attracting those people. Now, March 29, we have second solar eclipse. Now, eclipses, they always have 2 weeks apart. And this one is also amazing one, perfect one, positive one. Again, remember, this one is a positive one. New moons are about new energies, and I will make also on this one a separate video. Now, this one is hitting those of you who are born 29th of April, plus or minus 5 days, meaning if you have planets at 8 degrees of Aries, any planets, then you will feel this eclipse the most, or actually any sign. Now, 29th of April, plus or minus 5 days, you will be extra lucky, double deep from this eclipse. Pluto will support that eclipse. Now, Pluto is planet of transformation, and it's ruling your house of marriage. Now, Pluto newly found in your 10th house of social status in the next promising actually next 20 years to rise your social status, your influence and reputation, to make you someone who everyone looks at, someone who everyone respects. And plus it rules your house of marriage. In the next 20 years you might get married with such a person, for example, making you also respectable, making your reputation also rise, and social status also huge step up. Now, you might also get married, also this kind of person, as I said. Now, this new moon is happening in your 12th house, house of subconscious mind, house of far lands. 12th house is also far lands. Now, seems like some of you guys, there is like a new story beginning somewhere far, like immigrating somewhere. For example, you are getting married and that's why you are moving with your husband to another country. This might be possible. Or you are getting married in some beautiful country that you choose to get married, for example, without moving somewhere. And ruler of this eclipse, Mars, will be in your house of communication, and that Mars will receive supportive beams from another two karmic planets, Uranus and Saturn. Now, Saturn will be in your 11th house and Uranus will be in your first house. Now, all these planets, Pluto, Saturn, and Uranus, supporting this eclipse suggests something destined is happening, something fateful is happening that is already decided in the heavens, and which will be positive, so that you remember, again, reminding you that. And, because ruler of this eclipse, Mars, is in your 3rd house, also it's related to your siblings, could be. If it's not your situation, that if you have them brothers or sisters, then it might be related to some news, happy news and shocking news, happily surprising news related to your brothers or sisters. Or you might actually surprise them with the big news, something that you've been wishing for a long time is coming true now, is coming into your life, and it is happening somewhere far. Seems like somewhere which is like, maybe on an island or somewhere near nature, and everything related to social status here, and also marriage. Some of you guys might get proposed, or you might propose here and deliver the news that you're getting married, or it's your brothers or sisters who will deliver this news actually of getting married. For some of you, it might be totally on a different topic, like courses, like some courses you might be finishing some short-term courses, I don't know, maybe coding or writing or cooking, and it will be super important for you. Or it might be related to driving. You might get the driving license around this eclipses if you've been attending like driving courses, for example. And also transportation. You might buy a car at this new moon solar eclipse too. And it seems like you will be driving it, not at home, somewhere in a foreign land. Now, by the end of March, we have Neptune, another big thing happening. Neptune, planet of magic, inspiration, and spirituality. It's moving into your spirituality house, my dear Tauruses, in upcoming 14 years. That's how long Neptune stays in one part of your chart, in one sign. In those years, you will become more spiritual, more connected to your true self, to your inner child. Now, Neptune will give you sort of preview until October 22nd of what's to come in the next 14 years, because it will be retrograding and then it will be back, in January 2026 to stay 14 long years. Now, Neptune is a planet of that rules your house of future and wishes and hopes, and it's moving into your 12th house. Now, everything that you wish for might come true if you put spiritual energy there in the next 14 years. Like work with yourself, with your wounds, like healing your wounds, or meditation, or yoga practices. Like all those things will sort of, you will open up this kind of world for yourself. And it might start this March, end of March until October, and only in January you will totally come back to this sort of lifestyle of yoga and meditation kind of things. It might become a new sort of journey for you next 14 years. Now, I will make a whole separate video on this Neptune, so stay tuned for that. And Neptune was in your 11th house since 2011, 2012. Now, Neptune, while touring your 11th house, was making your wishes and dreams huge, because Neptune rules oceans and ocean is endless, And it was, good thing is that it was giving you a lot of opportunities to dream big, dream endlessly. There was no sort of boundaries there. And also 11th house is um, it's a friendship house, but Neptune is unconditional love planet. A lot of like for your close friends, you've been like feeling also sort of unconditional love, and even some of your friends might have became like very close to you in terms of like your lover or your one and only. You might have found that special person within your friendship circle in the past 14 years. Now, this is once in a lifetime transit that is happening, Neptune being in your 12th house, because it never happened in our lifetime. It last time it did, it was in back in 19th century, from 1861 until 1875. Now, when I will make a video, we will talk about historical situations, historical events happening during this period, and so that you might anticipate what kind of events might come during this Neptune transit in your 12th house, and also directly to your sign and all signs. Of course, I will go through all 12 zodiac signs, so stay tuned for that video too. And always check your rising sign and moon sign, because horoscopes are written mostly for rising sign, my dear Tauruses, and also moon sign is very important, so that you get to compare and to know which one is affecting you the most, and getting the fuller picture of the month. Love you all. Bye bye.